Saints, stay with love, Dr. Mukherjee. बोल सद्गुरु बाबा हरदेव सिंह जी महाराज की जय. Dear Saints, for the last couple of hours, we were listening to so many beautiful thoughts on the topic of faith. And it gives me so much of joy to see so many young saints right here in this Sangha. Because if we look around in the world, we see lots of youth who are misdirected. And they are doing things that are harming themselves as well as everybody else. So to see all these young saints sitting here and practicing faith, that is one of the most amazing miracles that Babaji has done. Since the topic of faith is very hard to explain in words, because faith is something that has to be experienced. A person who has no faith has no idea what it is. And only way for anyone to see the power of faith is by having it. So what I'm trying to do, I'll share a few stories with you, because I think that is the best way a person can get an idea about what the faith is. And then I will try to go to a little deeper level of understanding how that faith works. So this is one story that I really like. There was a young girl, she was around 6 to 7 years of age, and she was flying in an aeroplane. She was flying from New York to Los Angeles. So while she was sitting, next to her there was a preacher, a father. He was sitting as well. And there were many other people in the plane. So while the plane was in the air, it happened that after some time it hit turbulence. The turbulence was so bad that the plane was shaking left and right. Everybody had an idea about turbulence, but this was something too much. And everybody started to panic. It seemed as if that this plane is not going to survive, it's going to crash, and all of the people inside were going to die. So some people were screaming, some people were praying, everybody was doing something, and in a state of complete panic. The father himself was scared too, and he started saying. He looked to his left, and the little child was sitting there alone. She was not scared at all. She was happy playing with her doll as if nothing was happening. A few minutes went by. It seemed like eternity, but I think around 5 minutes, the turbulence stopped and everything was steady. The preacher, of course, he was thankful to God that he was safe and everybody was safe. He looked at the girl and she was still playing with the doll, no change in her. And then he was a little bit surprised. He thought, okay, I need to talk to her. He said, little girl, you saw there was a turbulence and the plane was shaking so much and everybody was scared. Even I was a little scared. But I saw you and you were not scared at all. How come? Little girl said, Father, do you know, the pilot who is flying this plane is my father. And he promised me that he will take me to Los Angeles for this Christmas. So since this is called as faith, she had such a complete faith in her father that she knew nothing will go wrong for her. So once you know this faith, there is a story that tells about the power of faith. Once there was a small village, and it didn't rain for 2 years in a row. Because of that, there is such a severe shortage of water that everybody thought that if it doesn't rain now, almost everybody is going to die. So everybody went to the priest of the village that, okay, we need to do something, and the priest said, okay, I have a suggestion. There is one puja that we can do, and that might help. So to do that puja, we have to go towards a mountain which is few miles away, and go to the top of the mountain. We have to all sit together, and I will do the puja, and then the God will be happy with us and we will get rain. So they said, okay, we are ready to do anything. So the whole village went to the top of the mountain. So they went there, they did puja, and after the puja was done, they were sitting there, nothing was happening. The priest saw a little boy. He was sitting there wearing his raincoat. He looked at the boy and said, what the heck? What are you doing here with the raincoat? You know it hasn't rained at all. There is nothing. Why did you carry your raincoat? And he says, priest, I have a cold, and because I have cold, I cannot play in water. That's what my mom said. And now because we are going to come here and we are going to pray to God, and it's going to rain. So while we go back, it is going to be a downpour. And then, to protect myself and not to catch cold, I wear this raincoat. The time he finished this statement, the heavens opened up and it started raining. So then it's the power of faith of the little child that God had to bring rain back. So these are the stories that we learn and they kind of motivate us. But there is a real story that I want to share. These stories, like we learn from somebody else, I cannot authenticate this story, but this one is authenticated. So this story tells what is the sign of faith. If I have faith, what is the sign that you can say that this person looks to be the person of faith? So Swami Vivekananda, as we all know, was a great philosopher, and he went to US in early 1900 to deliver lectures about Hinduism. So while he was there and he was talking about Hinduism, there was an incident that happened. Because he was talking about Hinduism, there were many people who liked it, but there were many, the fanatics, they thought, who is this guy and talking against our religion. So they were not happy with him. And when during the lectures he always talked about the Almighty, the God, and how we are connected, we are one, and he was the fearlessness. We are all fearless people because we know God and we are connected with God. So to test him out, they went to him carrying some gun, and they came near him and they were pointing gun at him. When they took the gun out, everybody in the audience, they got scared, started running away. And Swamiji was standing still, nothing was bothering him. And they said, now we are going to kill you. So you are saying that, oh God, He's the doer and you have to submit. And what is He going to do now? Is God going to save you? So Swamiji told them that your gun has a bullet. And if it is willed by the God that bullet has to kill me, then nobody can save me right now. And if it is willed by the God that this bullet cannot kill me, nobody can kill me. The power of his conviction and faith that those youth, they just stepped back and went away. So then you see the sign of faith. The sign of faith is fearlessness. A man of faith has no fear. He is unmovable. Nobody can move him. He is so rock solid inside. So since once we see that, we have to see that how this faith could be cultivated. Is it so simple that, oh, now I know about faith, it seems to be a very powerful force, I want it. Can I go to a store or a mall and say, I need some faith to make it stronger? It doesn't work that way. So there is a process that happens. That's how faith builds up. The process is like this. I'll give you one small story that explains the whole process. That a person is walking by. While walking, he sees on the footpath a person who looks like a sadhu purush, who is sitting there in his meditation. You look at him and then you have a thought in your mind. Yeah, nowadays so many people just become guru. Yeah, they are like they don't know how to earn. They just sit there. Somebody feeds them. Just such a burden on everybody else. So while you have that thought in mind, your friend comes to you and says, "Oh, you saw that guy? Yeah, I saw that guy. You want to know more about him? Yeah, what is it? He was a billionaire. He was a billionaire, but the affinity for spirituality for him was so strong that he donated all the money that he had to charity, and he devoted his life for spiritual work. Now suddenly you have a little bit respect for this guy. Okay, he is not a burden on the society. He was a billionaire. So he did this for his choice and he is not faking it. Then the other person again tells him, you want to know more? He is not just like alone in the sense that he has so many ashrams, so many institutions which help people in spiritual pursuits. And he has done so much of community work and he is still doing it. Then there is still more respect for him. Oh wow. He is not just sitting idle for himself, he is doing some work for others too. And then he tells you, you know what? He is a God realized saint. If somebody goes to him, asks for God knowledge, he gives it to them. And then you think, oh my God, he is a really God realized saint, a Brahmayani. Then you go there, touch his feet, get his blessing. You see, the person was the same. He was sitting there. And this person was also the same, he was walking by. But during the whole process, his initial feeling of total disrespect turned into total faith. And the process happened through knowledge. So knowledge is the first step towards faith. As knowledge builds up, the faith builds up. Faith without knowledge is nothing but belief. That's what belief is. Belief is just an idea that we carry with ourselves. We have no ambition to question it. So beliefs are carried like from generation to generation. Normally, if you talk about religions and this, just because my father believed in something, I believe in it. But I'm a closed chapter. I think I know, and I say, oh, I know. I don't want to know anything else because it's a closed chapter. The spiritual pursuit starts with the first thing is I do not know. I do not know whether there is God. I do not know whether there is God. I do not know whether God is in form. I do not know whether God is formless. Once you open yourself for all the possibilities, then the actual knowledge taking starts. The greatest possibility starts with I do not know. Those people who do that, they go minus. Those people who say, I know, they will go nowhere. Then they just get stuck in their belief and there is no progress because there is no knowledge. So from knowledge starts spiritual pursuit and then faith. Without knowledge, the ignorance breeds belief. So once we know that, what happens is this next step, that from knowledge we get faith. And with faith you develop love. Then the love comes into picture. Unless and until you have faith, you cannot develop love. So these are the 3 steps in a spiritual life, a spiritual seeker will see. And the love that we all know, that it is everything, it encompasses everything, then you become unbound. That is the goal of the life. We think we are bound, and to become unbound, that is the goal of the life. And that's where the joy lies. So those gurus or sadgurus, their job is to do exactly that. A seeker comes to them. First of all, they have to just cut their belief system. They will cut your belief system so that you start afresh. And then you seek your knowledge. If you go here with your preconceived idea, you will never seek God knowledge. A story comes to my mind about Gautam Buddha. Gautam Buddha, as we all know, he was a wise one, he was the enlightened one. So he used to go from village to village preaching. So once he reached a village, in that village there was a person who believed in Ram, Sri Ram. He used to pray to the God in the morning, wakes up, Ram, Ram, Ram. During the day, Ram, Ram, Ram. He was a very big believer in Ram. So throughout his life, right from his childhood till his adulthood, he has nothing but prayed Ram. So when he came to know that Gautam Buddha, the wise one, is here, a thought came into his mind. He said, yeah, I'm believing in God, I'm doing this, but what if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong and maybe Ram that I am praying may not be the God that I should pray? It may not be true that there is God. Just a little doubt, and he thought that, okay, Gautam Buddha, enlightened one, he knows everything. So he went to him. He went to him in the morning and he said, Maharaj, I have a question for you. So he said, ask. So he asked, is there Ram or God? Gautama looked at him and then said, no, there is no God. He was shocked, but that initial shock subsided and then he was relieved. Okay, I wasted my life doing something and now I know the truth. So okay, I should not waste my life anymore. So it was a kind of a shock followed by a relief. In the evening, what happened? Again in the same village there was someone called Charvak. In Charvak is one of the castes in India. They do not believe in God. They are atheists. So they firmly believe there is no God and they preach the same. And fortunately, India is such a tolerant country. So normally the non-believers and believers can stay together peacefully. So that caste also stays there. They do their job, the preaching that okay, there is no God. So this Charvak, throughout his life, had believed that there is no God. He was very sure that he is true. He is believing in truth. But when he came to know that Gautama is coming, he again had a small question in his mind. That throughout my life, I haven't believed in God, I think there is no God. What if there is a 0.1% chance that there is God and I am mistaken? So why don't I confirm with him? So he went to Gautama in the evening and asked him this question, is there God? And Gautama looked at him and said, yes, there is God. And now Gautama's disciples were surprised that same question was asked in the morning and he said that there is no God. And again in the evening another person comes asking the same question and now he thinks there is God. So what is going on? So basically what was going on, that Gautama wanted to first of all cut the belief system. Both of them carried their belief system. And because of they were stuck in their spiritual progress. So his job was to cut the belief system and let the knowledge automatically come out later. So that's what a spiritual guru does. He will do the same to you, and when we know that, then the actual faith and then God knowledge, it blossoms inside us. So saying, I know time is way past. So what I would like to say is that I'm very happy that among the saints there are lots of young saints, and today they are walking on this path of faith and love. And I'm sure Babaji wants to see that, as we can see that we have these English student sanghas, and of course I remember like we have a couple of youth samagams too. That Babaji is trying to push this youth power because the potential Babaji can see in all of you. And if we follow Babaji's teaching, we will ourselves see that how much power as a youth we have, and then if we decide, we can change the whole world, and we can see the dream that Babaji has about the love throughout the world. That we can implement. So, thanks with these words, I would like to say, if I'm mistaken in something, if I have said something wrong, please forgive me and bless me that on this path of love and devotion and faith, I progress too, and these are not just words, but actually I should have this in my life the way Babaji wants to see. Saying, say with love, Dharma.